everyone, I'm Zach with World of Game Design, and today I'm going to teach you how to play the Marvel Multiverse RPG. This is a brand new game that came out the week of Gen Con 2023. We had the pleasure of running it alongside Marvel all weekend, including running a mountain of games, putting together the adventures for those games, and assisting with demos at the booth. To be clear though, this is not a paid promotion. I'm getting no compensation for this video, and I'm doing it because I've become decidedly juiced about the system, and I couldn't wait to share it with all of you. There's a link down in the comments if you want to buy a book directly from us, but it's widely released everywhere at this point too. Grab it where it makes sense to you. Let's dive in and find out what makes this game tick. This is a Marvel game, so you probably already know what sort of themes you can expect here, so let me take this a slightly different direction than we often do. Let me tell you what sorts of things are going to feel different here. I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but let me go ahead and tell you that there are heroes that you can build in this game that are basically unkillable. Think like Luke Cage or Hulk. Just brutal tanks, the likes of which D&D or something like that has never seen. Is this broken? Absolutely. Is it intentionally so? Absolutely. This leads me to an interesting conclusion. The win condition is, by default, not meant to be kill or be killed here. It's going to be almost impossible in all but the most extreme situations for you to get a total party kill or a TPK for your group of heroes. Survival, then, is not the win. That might seem like a no-brainer, but how many of your D&D encounters are designed around driving each other, both sides, down to 0 hit points? Here, I think you'll find more compelling sessions will revolve around mission objectives, like asset retrieval, or ticking clock crises, or hostage rescue and covert ops. Great fail states will often be the death of a friend, hostage, family member, somebody getting captured, loss of an asset, or the destruction of a public space with casualties maybe. This alone will bring a wildly different feel to your games, or at least it has in mind. I've seen a lot of folks out there that they kind of note that this feels a lot like D&D with superheroes, even though it's its own system. And I'm here to tell you that in the right hands, D&D with superheroes should feel a lot different than your standard fantasy D&D. There's a lot to be explored here, and mastering this game and this genre will load you up with new tricks that you can take elsewhere. Alright, so the Marvel Multiverse game uses its own unique system. At its core, you'll be rolling 3d6 for almost everything. They call this the D616 system. It's a bit of a gimmick. The core canonical Marvel universe is called the 616 universe, so they're playing off that here. You'll be rolling 2 standard d6s and then a special d6 that has an icon instead of a 1. That Marvel icon isn't counted as a 1, it's counted as a 6 plus, and will give you a special benefit when rolled. When asked to roll a d616, you roll all 3 dice, then add the modifiers, if there's any, and then sum the result. You'll be going up against a target number. Let's say 12. So you'll roll your d616, and look, you rolled 2 6s plus a Marvel icon, which counts as a 6 plus. That gives you the best roll possible, 18 plus, even before you add any modifiers from your abilities. That means that you more than exceeded the target number of 12. That Marvel icon communicates a fantastic result. That's what the plus means in the statement. In the case of rolling at or above your target number, the Marvel icon communicates either a fantastic success, or if you roll 2 6s and a Marvel, like we just did, that's an ultimate fantastic success. A fantastic success works basically like a crit, which gives you a yes and result on skill checks and allows you to deal double damage on a hit. Pretty standard stuff for a crit. And an ultimate fantastic success means you succeed regardless of the target number, and you can ignore the detriments that might be lurking in the background. Note that this means that as a narrator, you setting a target number and allowing a roll means that you are allowing for the possibility of success. If you don't want any chance of success, simply don't allow for the roll and don't set a target number. You should always assume that someone in the party can hit that target number regardless of how high it is if you set it. On the other side of things, if you roll a Marvel icon, but you roll low enough on your other 2 dice that you still fail to hit your target number, you've achieved a fantastic failure. It's a failure, but more of a no but scenario where you can still do something cool or interesting, just not at the level that you were hoping for originally. At its face value, you're going to be rolling a fantastic result just under 20% of the time. But there's another facet to the dice rolling that can bump up these statistics, these likelihoods, even higher. This facet is called an edge. And it's kind of like inspiration in D&D, but you can have more than one edge at any one point in time, and some of your power, skills, and other abilities can grant you automatic edge on certain rolls. Each time you spend an edge point, you get to pick one of your dice to re-roll, even your Marvel die, and you take the better result of the two. And if you have multiple edge points, you can stack them with your narrator's permission, thereby allowing you to burn several points to increase the odds of rolling a fantastic result significantly or hitting your target number or whatever you're shooting to do. This means that that 20% likelihood at the table is probably going to manifest closer to 25-30% more likely to produce that fantastic result as people are burning edges to get what they need. So just keep in mind that that's going to be very frequent. There's also such a thing as the exact opposite of an edge, and that's called a trouble. Narrators can impose trouble on heroes by way of villains, hazardous situations, or the heroes themselves attempting a risky maneuver. Trouble makes you re-roll your best die result, and trouble can also stack, forcing multiple re-rolls and burning down that success into abysmal failure. Really, though, the D616 roll, fantastic results, edges, and trouble cover just about everything you'll be rolling in the game. So let's take a look at a character sheet and see how all of that is going to be integrated. We're going to use Black Widow as our reference point. By the way, that's another thing that sets this game apart. It presupposes that a chunk of us are going to want to avoid making our own heroes and are going to instead want to play as existing characters. There's rules for both creating your own heroes from the ground up with a ton of options, and also there's like a million pre-made heroes and villains all ready to go and included in the core book. Heck, there's like 3 or 4 versions of Spider-Man even. So the character that you want to play is either in the book or there's enough options in there that you can build, a stand-in for what that character should be pretty easily. Each character has a rank from 1 to 6, with most heroes falling in the 2 to 5 category. While ranks are as close as this game gets to levels, it's not a 1-to-1. Your rank may never change. You don't gain experience points, and it may never make sense in your head or in the head of your narrator to ever allow Black Widow to achieve a level higher than 4. Your GM may tell you from the get-go that this game isn't going to have ranking up at all, and it's just going to be playing heroes at the level that you've chosen, which is just fine. In general, rank 1 is for rookies and non-heroics, just to kind of set it in your head, like a standard shield agent. 2s are for local protectors with minimal powers like Daredevil. 3s are for champions like Alpha Flight or Miss Marvel. 4s are legends like Captain America. 5s are mythics like Thor. And 6s are saved for cosmic heroes like the Silver Surfer. By the way, villains follow the same rank structure. A quick note here, rank does not equal level of super in your superhero. It's a reference to how many tricks they have in their tool belt, including social and technical and tactical skills. This is why Black Widow is rank 3 while having no superpowers. Her skill set is flooded with stealth, shooting, and tactical know-how. The game also allows, nay, encourages, the idea of players beginning with a hero that's not rank 1, and even the idea of heroes with a mixture of ranks all in the same group. Think about it. The Avengers would certainly not be the same rank across the board. While a mixture of rank in the group may create a slight imbalance, really what you're going to see for the most part is higher ranked heroes having more abilities, and not necessarily that those heroes are dealing more damage, taking more hits, or being overwhelmingly better. This is a good place to pause and talk about balance as well. Can we just throw that out the window for this game? Do you really want a perfectly balanced superhero game anyways? I don't think so. I think what we want is for a wild array of imbalance such that certain characters are going to shine brightly in certain situations and where other characters are going to be better at others. Black Widow can take a sneaky situation and make it look like a cakewalk where Hulk is going to suffer miserably, even though Black Widow is ranks below Hulk. In games like D&D, where combat is king, this sort of feels gross at the table because you got a character like Black Widow that feels dumb in all the big mechanical moments. But we've already addressed the fact that this game isn't designed to be standard combat heavy. So I think the imbalance works really well here. It's a feature, not a bug, but really. We'll cover this more later, but I think removing the idea of your heroes being balanced against each other is a little bit silly here. This is an asymmetrical game. Okay, so looking at your sheet, you'll see a list of ability scores running along the left. Melee, which is like punch, throw, melee defense. Agility, which covers acrobatics, dodging, and running. Resilience, which is like resistance to poison and health. Vigilance, which is focus, initiative, investigation. Ego, which is intimidation, avoiding mind control, magic. And then finally, logic, which is your telepathic powers, your puzzle solving, and your ability to avoid trickery. For average humans, a score of 0 is standard, with a range of -3 to +3 being within the realms of possibility. Superheroes can go beyond that. So here, Black Widow is within the range of a standard person in melee, resilience, vigilance, and logic, though she is a little bit at the top end of that in most of those. But she's a powerhouse in agility and ego. Each ability score has a defense score, which is equal to 10 plus your specific modifier. That creates the target number that your opponents need to hit. There's also a non-combat check modifier. That's the number that you'll add to your D616 roll when you're outside of combat. It's usually the same as your score, but certain traits and powers can give this modifier a boost. By the way, for combat, you just use the appropriate ability score directly as your modifier. We'll cover combat more in a minute. Your health is equal to your resilience score times 30 with a minimum of 10, and your focus is equal to your vigilance score times 30 with a minimum of 10 as well. In general, health is directly tied to your ability to keep moving and fighting, and focus is your pool of willpower and concentration points that allows you to power some of your better abilities. Damage reduction will be covered later on in combat. You have karma points equal to your rank, and you can spend a karma to gain an edge after a roll or give trouble to an enemy after a roll. No more than 1 point can be spent per action in this way. It also resets on a night's sleep, so get all your karma back once you've slept for a day. You can also make a resilience or vigilance check with a target number of 10 by spending a karma to regain health or focus respectively. You'll gain an amount equal to your roll times your rank. Narrators can also reward additional karma at their discretion. Origins are one of the building blocks of your character and open up an initial package of traits and tags. Origins include alien, high-tech, magic, mutant, special training, weird science. Occupations are another building block of characters and also come with a package of traits and tags. Occupations include criminal, healthcare worker, investigator, journalist, lawyer, leader, military, outsider, scientist, spy, student, and tycoon. Traits are kind of like feats in D&D in that they add special elements to your character. You get traits from origins, occupations, and then a number of bonus traits equal to your rank. A lot of times, these traits are non-combat focused, but not always, but they always provide mechanical benefit. Tags give no mechanical benefit. They're kind of like keywords for your character. There's no limit to the number that you can possess, but keeping a maintained and cleaned up list will help you play in your character. As a narrator, I like the idea of if a character is playing well to their tags, this is a great opportunity for you to give them, an edge or some other benefit just in the spur of the moment. All right, now let's talk about combat. Now, I know I just got done talking about how there's more to this game than combat, but let's go ahead and expand our expectation of what a combat can be. It can be Hulk smashing through buildings on a rampage, while Hawkeye distracts the big boss from a distance, Black Widow sneaks in to steal the dangerous MacGuffin, and Captain America pulls injured civilians from rubble. All of that is still a part of combat. When combat starts, everyone rolls initiative, with everyone rolling D616 plus their initiative modifier, which is based on your vigilance score. If anyone rolls a fantastic result, they get to take a bonus round before the first round of combat, whole extra turn. You keep that initiative order throughout the rest of the fight. Distance is calculated in spaces, not in feet or meters or some other distance or measurement. Each round, you'll get a standard action, a move action, and one reaction that happens on someone else's turn. This should feel decidedly like D&D. When you want to make an attack against an enemy, you'll be rolling D616 plus the attack's ability score modifier and be going up against the enemy's target number. For melee attacks, you'll usually go up against melee defense on your opponent, and for ranged attacks, you'll be using agility against an agility defense. Now, if you succeed, take the same result of your Marvel die, don't roll again, just take that result from your Marvel die and multiply it by your damage multiplier and add your ability modifier. Fantastic attack rolls count as crits and deal double damage. Powers or other things that grant bonuses to damage multipliers don't stack with anything other than rank. So just keep in mind that you can't just stack a bunch of things on top of each other to get huge bonuses. Here on Black Widow's sheet, she has an agility multiplier of 3. That presupposes a standard kit of weaponry. Only on rare occasions will a super special weapon add an additional bonus. When you deal damage, you deal it directly to either health or focus. Usually, though, focus is only injured through special powers, but it can happen. However, before you deal damage, you'll need to first get through any of your opponent's damage reduction. Damage reduction is some bullcrap. Don't get me wrong, it's fun. But it also will leave you shaking your head as Luke Cage calmly ignores all the damage from a direct hit, pretty much. Damage reduction could be anywhere from -1 upwards of -5, but that isn't coming directly off of your attack's damage. It's actually applied beforehand. Now, lean in close. Pay attention here, because this might throw you. Damage reduction reduces the damage multiplier, not the damage. So here with Black Widow, her damage multiplier is 3, and if your opponent has a damage reduction of 2 against, that means that Black Widow is going to only times her Marvel die by 1 instead of 3 when calculating damage. If she rolled, let's say, a 4 on her Marvel die, that would have been 4 times 3 plus 4 for a total of 16. But now it's only 4 times 1 plus 4 for a total of 8. Damage reduction is massive and underscores the unlikelihood of killing a whole party of heroes in a single combat. Let's talk about that situation though. If your character goes below 1 on health, they go unconscious. Go negative equal to their maximum HP. So like if your character's maximum HP is 60, go to -60 and you die. Again, this is going to be difficult to accomplish. Heroes may fall, but they're going to get back up again. It works the same way with focus too. But falling to 0 here means that you're just demoralized. All of your concentration powered abilities end and you have trouble on all actions, which is still not great. But if you go to negative your maximum focus, you'll become shattered, which is basically like paralyzed. It's not fun. You regain lost health and focus equal to the character's rank every hour that you take it easy and rest. Even better, for every hour sleep that you have, you regain double that. Those of you with D&D experience should be like, yeah, this all makes a lot of sense. You should feel right at home. But here's where things are going to deviate. Reactions, team maneuvers, and powers. Reactions can be used on a different character's turn to attempt one of the following. Escaping constraints. Giving an edge to an ally. Interpose, which is like to move yourself between an enemy and an ally within reach and get intact instead. Ramming someone. If you use both your standard action and a move action to double move, you can use your reaction to immediately make a close attack. You can use your reaction to release or let go of something or someone. You can also use your reaction to skulk, which is kind of the opposite of interpose, where you let a creature within reach take an attack instead of you and you move behind them. And then finally, there's something fun called a reaction called a fastball special. When your ally, a nearby ally, throws you as part of their standard action, you could use your reaction to make a close attack against an enemy that you're thrown at. So that's kind of fun. Additionally, your team might want to invest some focus in what's called a team maneuver. This is the second thing that's wildly different from D&D. These can only be done at the start of a round of combat. and each participating character must spend the focus cost individually in order to gain the benefit. There are three types of team maneuvers: offensive, defensive, and rally. Additionally, each type has three levels of value: 1, 2, and 3, with corresponding cost of increasing each time as well. So if you want the rank 1 benefit, that's a minimum cost. Rank 2 is going to cost you more, rank 3 even higher. Additionally, lower ranked heroes can't access a maneuver that's of higher level than their rank, even if they have the focus to spend. So for offensive maneuvers, level 1, all team members get an edge during the round. That's great. Level 2, all team members can reroll any dice on their attack and take the better results on each roll. That's super awesome. Level 3, turn the Marvel die automatically to a fantastic success. That's pretty rad. Defensive team maneuvers. Level 1, the team members all have damage reduction 2 for this round. That's huge. Level 2, the team members all have damage reduction 4 for each round. And level 3, which is crazy, the team members all have damage reduction 8 for the round. That's huge. Remember, it's just for one round, but that means you're basically not going to take any damage from anything. Then finally, you have rallying team maneuvers. Level 1, all actions taken against team members have trouble this round. That's awesome. Level 2, each member of the team can make a recovery roll for either health or focus as if they had spent a point of karma. That's great. And then level 3, a single member of each team who has been killed or shattered in this battle is healed to at least health 0 and focus 0. All right, finally, let's cover powers. Now, powers are a bit deceptively named. I think the name's great. It's just maybe a little bit confusing at the beginning, as they aren't just powers like spidey senses or hulking out. They could also be part of Iron Man's suit features or tactic-based abilities like Black Widow has with change of plans and combat support. All powers give mechanical benefits, though some grant passive boosts and others require an expenditure of actions, dice rolls, or both. Each character gets a number of powers equal to their rank times 4. So gaining a rank means you'll get an extra 4 powers each time. All powers are divided into either a basic set or a part of a power set. Power sets are arranged into power trees. So the more you focus on a specific set, the more powers of that rank you'll unlock. Also, if you keep your power set selection to fewer sets than your ranks, you get bonus power points to spend equal to the difference between the number of power sets you're choosing from and your rank. I know that's a mouthful, but basically, the fewer power sets you're grabbing from, you'll get some bonuses, some extra power points to spend. When building your character, you can also trade power points for extra traits or ability score improvements on a one-to-one exchange. So if you're out of powers that you think make sense, you can boost those other things, which is nice. Like I said a moment ago, powers are either like D&D feats in that they grant passive benefits or special case abilities, or they are like spells in that they give new actions that do special stuff. Here's a few examples from the book. You'll notice right away that they are presented in nearly identical fashion to a spell from D&D 5e. Flight 1, for example, isn't part of a power set, but it does have a prerequisite that you need to be of at least rank 2 to take it, and it's a passive ability, which is nice. You don't have to spend an action or anything in order to activate it. It's just now you have a flight speed. Flight 2 improves upon Flight 1, but requires rank 3 for your hero and Flight 1 to already have been selected beforehand. On the flip end, we have Flying Double Kick, which is part of the martial arts tree and requires the power leg sweep and rank 3 to be achieved first. It uses up your standard action to use, and it costs 10 focus. The effect is that you get to immediately make a close attack against 2 enemies within reach. If the attack is a success, you deal regular damage, but a fantastic success deals double damage and knocks the enemy prone. So for the cost of 10 focus, you're getting to attack 2 enemies instead of 1, and also have the potential of knocking them prone. Pretty slick. There are a million powers to choose from, and they cover a wide range of stuff. You're going to have a blast going through all the different powers, figuring out how to build exactly the hero that you remember from the comics or the films, or building exactly the hero that you've been dreaming about. This is basically how powers work, and with that, you have a pretty good idea of how Marvel Multiverse is going to work from the top down. I think you're going to have an absolute blast with it at the table. I'd highly encourage that you check it out. That's it, folks. That's the video. I had a blast putting together the Marvel Adventures for Gen Con, and it's a system that I've loved more and more as I dove into it. Remember, you could pick up a copy that directly supports the team over here at World of Game Design by following the link in the show notes. If you like this video, consider subscribing to our channel. We have a lot of great content and different playlists all centered around getting you into more RPGs and making those games better. We also have a podcast. It's called Geeks Can't, and it features myself and a couple of my Yahoo Game Master friends chatting around the table about topics like Kickstarters, RPG news, and we interview creators by the dozens. Go give us a listen if podcasts are your thing. It's also recorded live here on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch each and every week. You can expect a video like this about a different system every few weeks or so. Until then, we'll see you next time.